Welcome the new kid on the block. This is my new, when I say new I mean new for me, 1988 VW Transporter 1.6 turbo diesel with a 4-speed manual gearbox. It started in life as an emergency response vehicle or something like that. People were sitting and working inside it, and I'll tell you more about that later. Right now it's in rather bad condition. It's been mended in weird fashions with building materials for some reason. This is supposed to go on the outside of your house, not on the outside of your car. This is not its pretty side. It's a bit beat up. There's also some, whatever this is, rust here, tiny amounts of rust here. Somebody used it as a bump stop at one point or another. And this is the pretty side actually. Here it looks rather well, apart from this small dent and some rust here and here. The interior is a bit weird as well. First of all, the doors are hanging. Due to the emergency response role of this bus, the door cards are made of this weird material, some kind of a epoxy resin, semi-wooden stuff that is really hard and really impossible to drill. But good things that the guys cut it out so you can install speakers that don't fit. The driver's seat has some slight wear on it. Whoever was driving it previously needed some air fresheners to combat the easily accessible tobacco. They also needed several cup holders, so they installed this contraption, and I think also this one. Maybe there was some equipment from the emergency guys who initially used the bus here, and that's why the glove box is welded shut and this is like so. No idea, but it's absolutely solid. It doesn't rattle at all, especially due to the fact that you can't reach high speeds. When it comes to standard features, we have headlights, we have hazard lights, rear, what? Wait a minute. Okay, so this is for the rear window heater, but it's actually the Christmas lights. We have the fog light and hazards. When it comes to optional equipment, we have none. VW even saved the clock on this one, because who needs a clock or a trip counter? Why not? And just to tell you how basic it is, it has first speed on the wipers and second speed on the wipers, but there is no interval. You can't select the interval on this car. That was an option in 1988. You had to pay extra to have interval on your wipers. What the hell? There are also some wires here, and there is a whole plastic bit here that's missing, and these wires have gone loose. Of course, mighty 4-speed. When it comes to the gear shifter, it's terrible. This is neutral. This is first. This is second. You can also see the ground right next to the throttle. That's a standard feature to check for ice in case the road is freezing up. You can see it right next to your throttle cable. There's another hole on the passenger side, so they can give you their thoughts on the process. All in all, the cabin isn't that great. There's some holes in the roof liner as well. But when you come to the back, you have this neat little sliding door, and you can pass stuff to your passengers just like in a New York City cab. So I think that's cool. Let's go to the back. Now, in order to access the back, which, yeah, there's a slight panel gap here. If you can, I don't know if you can tell, but you can almost put your finger through it. In order to access the back, you're gonna need a handle. And when you open this door, which is also hanging, you can get this handle, which turns out fits perfectly and does the job. And then you can take it home with you. The sliding door goes rather well. I'm happy with it. Might sound a bit loud. There's absolutely no lubrication happening anywhere, but it is smooth, so something we can work with. In the back, again from the emergency response, there used to be some kind of a hole in the roof. We're gonna get to that in a bit. And these two weird seats, and I'm gonna tell you why they're weird. They're obviously not stock, but they came with the original leather. So I'm not sure if whoever was using this van initially paid to have them made with the original leather, or how they came about. Maybe VW made them for the emergency response people. The front seat, you can use as storage. The back seat, you can't. That's because we have a heater underneath, and that's actually the auxiliary heating, which is controlled from here. We have this knob. It doesn't work yet. One day it might. Diving further into the interior, we have this table. Let me just adjust the seat. There's this table, which is supported with that leg over there, and it even comes with an ashtray. The previous owners also gave me some spare parts. We have the fuse box cover. We have the vents from the doors. We have some bushings, gearbox linkage selector thingy, the CV boot, whatever those are. We have a new throttle cable and some more bushings. Additionally, the spare wheel is here because the pan that keeps it in place is missing. And the roof liner is made out of a weird, whatever it is, material. It's pretty flimsy on the one hand and pretty ugly. But the previous guys had taken out the seats and were just using it to haul building materials, because that's what they did with it. So I'm not upset. It's really nice, and we have some beautiful wallpaper stuck here on the back to cover up some of the rust. This door doesn't stay open unless you push it to the top, and now it's gonna stay. Some beautiful aftermarket speakers installed in here, especially this one. And if you wanna hang it here, you can. Also this. On this side, some nice sandpaper. Let's adjust the seat again. We have the original rubber. It had a VW stamp somewhere, which I find cool. And now for the most important part of this bus, the engine. Ta-da! You can right away tell why they bought the new throttle cable. Nobody bothered to replace it at any point. This is a 1.6 liter turbo diesel. It says turbo here. it produced, back when it was new, 70 horsepower. 70 purebred German horsepower. Today, I suspect it's much less than that, since when I drove it over, I couldn't get over 80 kilometers per hour. I have a suspicion that the turbo compressor is dead, but that might be just me. Here we have the auxiliary water pump for the heater, and I presume this is something to control it with these big fat wires. No idea what that is. We're gonna have to look it up. It runs, it drives, it's slow, it's noisy, and it sounds like my childhood. I know some of you are gonna be like, oh, Boris, why did you buy this old piece of whatever, and it's diesel and it's dirty and it's rusty and whatnot. First of all, it sounds like the 80s or the 90s at the latest. This is just, I don't know, it's not performance, it's not nothing, it just makes me think of these old Mercedes. Second of all, anybody who knows anything about cars knows that the body damage on this bus is nothing, especially compared to my other bus where the frame of the back door is bent and it's rusted out and you can't close the door properly, and both side skirts or whatever are rusted to as hell, and there's tons and tons of rust. This chassis is pristine compared to that one, and that's the main reason I bought it. I want a solid basis to build on, something to restore from scratch, and have my dream camper from scratch. think we're gonna end part 1 here. It looks a bit more like a blank canvas now. Well, a canvas that somebody has painted on and I've bleached afterwards. But I'm happy. There's gonna be a lot more cleaning and tidying up to do further down the road, so this is enough for now. Next up, I want to start with the mechanical bits, the front suspension, front brakes, and move towards the back afterwards. I want to get as close as possible to factory spec, and from there we're gonna proceed with the cosmetics, inside, outside, any upgrades, and so on. Thank you for watching. Likes are free, so drop one below, ask me something in the comments, and consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode. Bye!